the foundation of where the original music cafe was. This is where the incident, the majority, or the worst, I should say, of the worst of the incident took place, where a number of people were trapped in the music cafe, and they did not rebuild on the same foundation. It was moved to a different place. Instead, they now have this memorial. You can see Espace Mémoire, the 6th of Juillet. I cannot pronounce it. 2013. Well, I want to say Juillet. Just going to take you for a little walk around here so you can see what we've got. Instead of the music cafe, we had a busy day today. We talked with some reporters from CBS News, talked about why we were here, and presented La Coalition Côte to one of the people here, Lizette Carrette, who has just been such a wonderful host and very accommodating and patient. And we just wanted to do something nice for her, so that's what we did. Any thoughts from today? This one here had a number of interviews because there was a derailment in Wisconsin. You want to talk a little bit about that and have a little better of an interview this time? This time we'll actually show what you say. I love how, and I've seen the same thing in interviews. They'll take the most generic thing that you say, and that's what you'll hear, even though all the meat of the content of what you said should have been heard, but rarely is. Hey.
Riding home complacency now because it feels like that's what makes the world go round. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that's just the way the world is. It's the way we've always done it. It's just the way it is. Okay, clearly it's not working. And this is a number of things. Hi, Dakota. This is about a number of see, she gets worked up. When I start getting...
She does.
She can sense my emotions.
I think that was her version of a supersized hug.
Well, no, I think it's like, simmer down. It's too much for me. I don't understand what's going on. This is a very serious situation. And so actually having her around helps me try and actually be cool. Because I don't want to upset you. I'm really sorry. Yeah, gosh. Where to begin?
Well, what happened? What happened?
Here. First of all,
we're here.
Now, what I was thinking about in the drive on the way here, because where we're staying is like 20 minutes away.
Yes.
So, and you look great. I gotta turn the camera on Jerry.
No.
She looks great in her hat. She's all.
Well, we had to cover the frizzy hair because it's so humid here.
It's cooling off now.
It feels way better.
So, first of all, yeah, I was thinking about it in the car, that this is the time, Jerry, this is the time in the evening 10 years ago when those people were preparing for their evening. Those who were going out to the music cafe, they were getting ready to leave, they knew, we're going to the music cafe, we're going to have fun.
It was a night of celebration.
Yes, and the people at their homes, they were just going to bed, thinking it was just another night. Wake up tomorrow, it's just going to be another day. And that didn't happen, and that time is now. Do I need to get hooked? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Just want to make sure because we've got the traffic in the background. I want to make sure everybody can hear what you say.
I'm sure. I used to be loud because I have a lot of children.
There you go.
And they still don't hear me.
Selectively.
Yes, selective. Ice cream!
There you go. That was
That's
priceless.
That's the word. Hey guys, how do you say ice cream in French?
There we go. Le
How do
glace.
you say thank you?
Merci beaucoup.
Don't help them.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. And
I
how
need
do
the
you say
practice
hello?
too. Bonjour.
Good. How do you say Mrs.? How do you say Mr.? All right, very good. How do you
And
say
my
please?
my name is. Woo, the little one. Je m'appelle
Je m'appelle.
Kurt.
Okay, so yes, selective.
And the je vous, was it je vous parler français?
Oh,
Je something parler français. I want to.
oh,
Je voudrais parler français.
Say,
Je voudrais parler français. I'm trying.
oh, we're trying.
It's still slaughtering a beautiful language, but okay. So back, where were we?
They were here.
They were here. Well, that it was a normal day.
To the Musée Cafe, we'd be getting ready for
Yeah.
our night out on town.
We'd look way better.
Cafe, go.
Yes.
I'm sorry, wait, what?
Well, I'd probably be doing my hair and my nails, and
We'd look way better.
I shouldn't say we. I should say I. You look great.
Well, you're very sweet. No, see, you were right the first time. That's what I was trying
We
to
would have been
say.
dressed up more. We would have been more dressed up.
It doesn't matter.
Ooh, she caught me.
Point is, now I'm not letting any other woman talk down
Okay.
themselves.
Well, no. We could still feel good about ourselves, however we dress, but we would have been dressed differently if we were on a night out on the town. We would have probably been wearing our heels and something, I don't know. Okay, maybe not. Go ahead. I'm going to shut up over here. I'm digging myself into a deeper hole.
Yeah, so just thinking about that is the time that it is right now, that every hour that goes by from this moment is 1 hour closer to that moment. And we're here in that place, in that space. I was lucky enough to get that interview and that account translated from Gilbert, from Gio, and I'm very grateful for that because Gilbert said this is where the Musée Cafe was, right here.
Yep.
And so
We're here.
we're here 10 years later. And so that's the big thing right now for me. And then the train derailment in Reeseville. Yeah.
Reeseville, Wisconsin.
Reeseville is a small town, very small town, smaller than this. Much smaller. Outside of Watertown, not far. It's on the same Canadian Pacific Railroad. And it's Canadian Pacific that runs through here as well. So
Yeah.
it's another
Who never claimed any responsibility for the incident.
crazy coincidence.
Every other rail line paid something, but not Canadian Pacific.
That's a nice thing to note there, Jerry.
Yep.
So yeah, it was like 29 cars, and it was non-hazardous, and it happened.
So they
right
say.
outside of town. But the thing is, and what I said in the interview today that didn't get put in, one of the many things I said, is that okay, I guess they gave like a snippet of this, and then that's when they cut to say. I think the guy even said that railroads there's nothing we can do because they're state regulated. I think he said state regulated, but it's federally regulated really for the most part. It's federal preemption. Anybody who's been doing this for any length of time, who knows what they're doing, knows about federal preemption.
But what local municipalities and states can work on is emergency response, which,
do something.
well, it doesn't mean fighting the fire because that's unfightable.
A distraction.
But you can evacuate people, and you can have a plan for that. And
But still,
Going back, sorry, I had to get that in there.
No, you're fine, and you're right. It's
So
very
he said there's nothing that states can do.
yeah, it's just that same tired narrative of, there's nothing that we can do.
Yeah, we just have to let it keep
So,
happening.
Yeah. And so, circling back, that's extremely frustrating. The fact that we're here 10 years later and nothing is different. The only reason why we have any legislation like the Railway Safety Act of 2023 is because of these Palestinians.
Which has huge
shot
holes in it.
5 months ago, and those people still don't have any kind of justice. Their governor just declared an emergency declaration, and that's only because some people had to go to the Capitol, some residents and some moms had to go to the Capitol and demand to be heard. There was a Crude by Rail Safety Act of 2015. Thank you, Tammy Baldwin and Senator Cantwell and others who drafted that legislation and it didn't go anywhere. It's been proven time and again. They've had, with their billions of dollars in revenue as Class 1 railroads, there's no excuse why the NTSB says this is 100% preventable. There's no reason why these things should still happen. Why we should still be having the same conversations 10 years later. I'm angry.
Appalled.
to the core.
It's appalling. It's appalling. To hear any single legislator say,
Talk, then you get to be on the camera too. There you go.
to hear a single
See?
get close because it's hard to hear with all this thing.
Sure.
To hear any single legislator say that there's nothing that they can do is appalling. And what we need on this very day, at this very hour, are legislators who are going to do what they were elected to do, who are going to risk their seat in office to do what's right for the public.
It shouldn't even be about risking their seat in office. Why are we risking a seat in office to do the right thing? Why can't we just do the right thing?
Because you can't do, from a legislator's point of view, you can't do anything good if you're not in that seat. And I get that. But they have to risk that. They have to be willing to risk that. That is, I believe, their fear.
It's just a testament of how broken our system is, Jerry.
Well, it is, because, and here's the other thing, and I watched this, that they are doing what they're told. It's very difficult for one to go against the tide and speak out against an injustice when they're the only ones doing it. But you know what? Right now, we're not just talking about a train derailment. What we should have learned from East Palestine is we're not just, and I sure got an eye-opener myself, we're not just looking at that 1 mile blast zone area that, we keep hearing about.
With the chemical release in the plume. Yeah.
Right. What East Palestine should have taught us is this goes beyond boundaries.
Of just the derailment site. Yes.
And
good
beyond
point.
The boundaries of the municipality, beyond the boundaries of the county, beyond the boundaries of the state.
Yeah.
And honestly, even beyond this country, because
we all share the same sky. Yeah.
And the food. Where did all that fallout land? It's going to have landed in our water, in our ground, on our animals. These are things that we eat. We should be fighting for clean water. Every single person in this country right now needs to assess their water and see what's actually in it. And, in my area of Hawthorne Woods, there was a boil water. I've lived there since 2000. I moved out last summer because of 40 trains a day that were 2 to 2.5 miles long. But now they're saying that they have to boil their water. That's, in my time there, that's unprecedented. Not only do we have trains spilling chemicals all over the place in this country, we have, I think it was accompanied by the name of Xcel in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
That for an entire month, go ahead and Google this, folks. An entire month, they leaked radioactive water into drinking sources in Minnesota and felt like they had no need to tell anybody about it.
Ugh.
Everybody's okay, and that's what we keep hearing. In East Palestine, we keep hearing everything's okay. Go back to your home. released, uncontrolled, and burned. How could they be okay? How that defies common sense, let alone sophisticated logic. It's got to stop. Politicians, please listen. You know what? Forget about us if you want to. If you want to do that, go ahead. Forget about
Well,
us.
they apparently are.
You have a family, don't you? You came from
Yeah.
a family, didn't you? You do eat, right? You do drink water. You kind of need those things to live. You guys need to do something about this right now. That's my sermon on the mount.
Preach, baby.
You can do that. All you have to do is get pissed off about something. And it comes right out.
Yeah, it's true.
Sorry for that. You're welcome. Okay, you want to try it? Can you hang on to our super? There's not a lot of people. Yeah, here, hang on to this one. Or both. Hang on to both. Yeah, one in each hand.
So here we're standing at the spot of the Musée Cafe, ground zero of the derailment. So in the account I got earlier, so those front buildings that you can see, the ones closest to us, those were all gone. Those are all rebuilt. And then everything basically within eyesight from here is all rebuilt. This here is the river of fire from the site where it incinerated everything in its path on the way to the lake and spilled into the lake. There's CBC ready to do their stuff. Probably gonna tell him I already interviewed with him back in 2015. And here we are. So back here was a parking lot behind the buildings that stood here. Gilbert said there was buildings all the way past the hotel here. Buildings everywhere. There's spots where if you still walk, if you walk down the town here, there's still some lots that are, you can see one I think right here. Sorry, this is not wanting to zoom. I'm not wanting to do chat, thank you. You can see them by, I can't zoom very well. There's like these orange markers and it's just a vacant spot. Nothing is there yet. So yeah, band's warming up probably in Musée Cafe. Happened at 1:14 in the morning. So I'm not sure about Jerry with the dog, but I'm gonna be camping out here the rest of the night until the silent march at 1:14 in the morning. I want to be here to see everything that happens leading up to that time. So I'll be sleeping in my car, or I don't know if I'll sleep, but that's where I'm going to be. right here, parked right over there, and this is where, from the moment I learned about this town, it got into my soul. And it never left, and it never will, and it changed my life, and here I am.
Can you show this and what this is all about?
Yeah, there's a sign over here, I think. The silhouettes, I believe, represent the victims. So here.